All right, Mrs. New York American 2024 with hopefully probably my last video I'm shooting today, but I figured while I had it out, I would show you my tattoo touch-up kit. All right, let's just have a conversation about this. One, you don't have to cover up your tattoos. I choose to cover up my tattoo when I compete. That's a personal decision by me, for myself, and myself alone. It's totally up to you. My reasoning behind it is I love my tattoo. I would probably have more if I, could settle on the next things I want on my body, but it has very special meaning to me. It's important to me. For me, just because it is words, it's it's text. I like to cover it up because I don't want a judge while they're trying to look at my whole package to be trying to read what's on my back. Quite honestly, that is my rationale. I want them to be focused on me. I don't want them to get distracted by it. So that's why I choose personally to cover up my tattoo when I compete. With that, this is what I use. And yes, I do have like a little, listen guys, I'm extra, okay? It has its own title, it has its label, it has everything. So in here this is Dermal, this is the brand I use, and I have multiple shades in here of it because when you tan, you don't know what color the spray tan is going to come out. So I like having multiple ones. Sometimes I have to mix them together to get my skin tone. The other thing, and because I just don't care which one it is I use a primer, like a face primer. I have just like samples. I get them, wherever you get, whenever they're going to give me a sample of skincare, I'm like, oh, give me a sample of foundation primer. And they just live in here for this only reason, quite honestly. Then in here, I have my puff. This one is dirty, but I've only really used it once, so I kept it. My blending powders, my blending sponge. And then this is a bottle of setting spray, which I actually might need to use for my full makeup kit. But for right now, it's in here. I do like to always have a bottle of setting spray in my little kit, right? The other thing that you'll need for this process is loose powder and like a brush to put that on. I always have that in my main makeup kit, so I just kind of have to pull it when it's time to use it for this. I've debated honestly putting like a little baby powder in here, and I just felt like it's a little too much for me to deal with. Anyways, the steps. Primer. Put a coat of primer on said tattoo, okay? Next, first before you do that, make sure you find the one color that will work with your skin tone for this purpose. I usually just get like a paper plate, smush it there, right? So then primer, right? Let the primer set, make sure it's nice and dry. It's like done its thing, right? One thin coat, that's what the sponge is for, of it over your tattoo, blending out the edges, okay, into your skin. So over, blending out, okay? Then powder, coat of powder over that, coat of spray. Repeat that. I usually repeat it 4 to 5, sometimes 6 times. That's how thin you want the layers to be of the foundation. You're not glabbing it on thick. You're slowly building up layers, and that's what helps it to blend at the end for me personally, right? And so it's just that process. Thin layer of this, powder, spray, repeat. Thin layer, powder, spray, repeat. Like I said, 4 to 6 times is usually around where I am. Using this in between and just also using it to blend out the edges. Legitimately, I don't think you can see my tattoo in many photos. The only time I think you can see it is actually probably finals of Mrs. American. And that was because I was sweaty and gross. And at that point, quite honestly, I was already out of the competition. So I don't really care if you saw it anymore. The judging was done for me because I do use it just, from a judge's perspective. But that is what I keep in my little travel tattoo cover-up kit. If you're wondering, I like this one, and this is actually from Dollar Tree, y'all. My setting spray is from Dollar Tree. I use e.l.f. I use other ones too, but this is a really good one for tattoo cover-up time. But yeah, that is how I cover my tattoo. That's kind of a little bit like very quickly why I choose to cover up my tattoo and what I used to do it. There is actually on TikTok somewhere, if you still have access to TikTok, depending on where and when you're watching this video, There was a woman who had really like a full sleeve, and she was showing how she covered it up as a professional cheerleader because she was required to, and she had like way more sophisticated products than me. So if you do have like something large that you want to cover up with like lots of color or things like that, I would go find a video like that. But this very simple system works well for me with my just black ink tattoo, that script on my back, and I've never had an issue with this process. So the things you'll need: the foundation types, the blending sponge, a setting powder, a brush, primer, and then a setting spray. All right, I hope that helps you. If you have more questions, let me know. I could try to do a video covering up my tattoo. It's a little weird for me to try to get a video of because I'm like doing it on my back and like going back and forth to a mirror. I could try. Yeah, I can try. I can't guarantee you the video will turn out great, but hopefully I explain the process. I think it's pretty simple. Trial and error. Don't let the first time you're trying to cover up your tattoo be pageant weekend. Do it beforehand. But recognizing if you don't have a spray tan when you're practicing, your foundation color will be different. So definitely always have multiple foundations on hand. That is the best tip I can give you because you just never know. Season, spray tan, what the spray tan artists use, all that stuff can change person to person. So I just like having the options with me to know that I can find a shade or make a shade that will work on my tattoo. All right. Hope that was helpful. Bye.